Titans issue 15, Tom Taylor writing and Lucas Meyer on the art, and I think this is the last Taylor issue of Titans. So it makes
I
sense that
believe so.
it makes sense that it would be because it's the end of this
Hmm.
arc and it does wrap up everything that he's been doing. So yeah, they're fighting Trigon. A bunch of Justice League and JSA people are here to help as well. Ultimately, it's just kind of like background to like what the actual story is
Hmm.
here, which is Beast Boy goes up to the Darkwing Queen and tries to talk to her about why she hasn't killed the Titans because deep
Hmm.
down she must care about them and care about him. And this is a distraction so that Gar can blast the gem that Raven is in. So Raven comes out.
Garth can blast it.
What did I say?
Gar.
I think that's a fair slip, to be honest.
No, it is. I'm just for clarification.
Aqualad,
Yes.
blast the
Tempest.
Tempest. Sorry, yes, Tempest.
Yes.
Yes. So Raven's out. She faces down the Darkwing Queen and is making all sorts of big threats and whatnot. And that's when Beast Boy basically gives him a bit of a stern talking to and kind of explains
Hmm.
that both Raven and the Darkwing Queen are both the same person. They're just two different sides of the same person. And Beast Boy kind of compares this to, or not compares, but I think there's a bit of subtext here about what he's went through recently, about
Yep.
this darker side of him that he's been trying to kind of wrestle with, and that he's had to sort of accept what his part and things have been. Whereas Raven, in a weird way, is almost kind of compartmentalized everything that's bad about her, every dark desire she has, by sort of like in
Hmm.
this separate entity that was in the gem. So
Hmm.
we actually get this merging of Raven and the Darkwing Queen. And the Darkwing Queen even kind of admits that, being in that gem whilst Raven's formed all these bonds with Beast Boy and the Titans, that on some level she has come to care about them, even if she didn't want to admit that. So
Yeah,
that's
because
your
she
big kind of emotional crutch of the issue.
she keeps saying that they're meant to be the generals. That's why she's not attacking them and destroying them.
Yeah.
But Beast Boy points out, she's like, yeah, but no, you care about them. That's why they're still around, because you like you said, she'd gotten to know them through Raven, and because they are two sides, she wasn't ever going to hurt her friends. She was going to put on a show. And I also like when Beast Boy points out to her, she's like, "What have you actually done that was evil?
Yeah,
Like,
that was a nice point.
at most, you kind of mess with my emotions, but that was your way of helping me." And then I thought back about it. I was like, we thought it was sinister in the moment, but it turns out that she just kind of shut off his anxiety so he could, get a breath in that moment.
Yeah.
Because Beast Boy's been acting the same since. It's not like Taylor's been writing it like, oh, it's a ticking time bomb. What's Beast Boy gonna do? And so he's like, yeah, in your own, kind of weird way, that was your way of helping me.
The one thing she kind of did, admittedly, is this a big deal given who it was? But I mean,
Yes.
Hermes kind of got like nuked, but this
He'll
God, whatever.
he'll be fine. He'll grow new wing feet and a helmet, and he'll be fine. But yeah, so I do like that it was Beast Boy coming through and using his empathy here, because we get that with Gar a lot, because he feels kind of the red all the time. He's kind of tapped into emotions a little bit more.
Well,
So when he's
I think it was
yeah,
even more than that, though. I think it kind of speaks to this idea that he deeply knows and cares about Raven. This
Raven,
idea that
that's what I was getting to.
he's the one that recognizes that both are
Hmm.
parts of who she is and brings them
Hmm.
together. It kind of solidifies that they are a couple now, more than even just
Hmm.
them being a couple has been throughout the entire book so far.
Yes.
Because like he did this for her, he was able to sort of merge her two sides together, and it does this thing obviously with the lettering throughout several of these pages here, where Raven and Darkwing Queen's speech bubbles kind of merge together with two different colors, and
Hmm.
you get the sense that they're both saying this together.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they merge, and we get like just Raven in like a white version of her outfit, ready to take on Trigon, which is fun. And she doesn't keep this outfit at the end of the issue, but this is what she has here. And in a weird way, we get like a Megazord version of Raven where she
Yes.
uses all of the Titans as her new gems, like to make her crown, because she doesn't have
Hmm.
that to fight Trigon with. Like she needs the
Hmm.
power of the gems, and the Titans say, "Hey, use us. We can be your strength." And she basically puts them all into gems and puts them all in her head, and then she takes on Trigon. And keep in mind, they're both kaiju sized still
Yeah.
at this point. And what's so fun about it, and I actually really, I mean, part of this is a little bit cute. Like, I was almost thinking, is this too cute? You're doing this sort of like, oh, like the power of friendship comes together, and is it even too cute that she's kind of using some of their skills as she's fighting Trigon? But at the same time, though, when it's like pointing out that she's using like Nightwing's like athletics, and then she's using like Donna Troy's willpower, you know, like it maybe got a bit too cute for me though. But the line where it made it crossed a little bit is when Gar's like when she does the whole cyborg cannon thing with her arm, and then Gar's like say it, and she's like booyah. I'm like, okay, that might have just been a little touch over the line, just a little bit too cute.
A little cringe, as the kids would say.
Yes.
However, I do love the idea that she is that because she always feels like such an outsider, right? And so the fact that she is taking on aspects of her friends, because this is how she has learned humanity, is through the Titans, and it's that humanity that brings about the end of Trigon here, right? This big scary demon man. So I kind of like the subtext there, but you're right, it's a little bit too cute by half.
Yeah. And then Tempest, because Trigon's so big and his blood is so big by, you know, obvious connection, Tempest can control his blood, so he just gives him a heart attack, which is actually really dark when you stop and think about it.
It is.
He gives the devil himself a heart attack. Oh, dear. And then Raven, like, drives a trident, like, through him. Dear.
I will say that I do like the, like, if this is like a super Raven that we can dust off for events, you know, she kind of taps into the Dark Winged Queen. I like this white suit for her. Like, it is a kind of a cool level up type thing.
Yeah, I do wonder if it'll come back, if it's something they're going to keep around. I wonder if the new team that's coming on the book, and I don't have no expectations for that because I don't think I know the team that well, but I do wonder if, like, is the rest of this run, like, just them taking over and starting their run? Or is it a case where because Taylor's doing other things, he's like having to leave the book, but he did plan more? Is he left like a, you know, a roadmap of like, this is where the plot was going to go for the next like 20 issues or something? I don't know.
Because when I was first reading this issue, I thought, oh, it's kind of rushing towards the end because I know that Layman's taking over next time.
Yeah.
But as we get to the ending where she, you know, relies on the power of her friends and defeats Trigon that way and stands up to her dad finally, I was like, oh no, this kind of feels like a fitting end that Taylor had been planning for a while.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel rushed towards the end like I thought it would. But yeah, so I don't know, because it kind of does not in a neat bow, but it does kind of put all of Taylor's threads kind of done here at the end.
Yeah, and the Titans go to Amanda Waller and make it clear, because obviously Waller had made the deal with the devil and all that. And it ties in nicely to the fact that this is meant to be right before Absolute Power, so like, this all links up quite nice. And it's just basically the Titans standing together saying, yeah, we're the Titans and we protect the Earth. Like, this is who we are. Like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's a nice ending. I don't think, like, I think his Titans has been very good. And I think especially once it hit Beast World and then this Darkwing Queen stuff has been really, really solid. I've really enjoyed it. I've looked forward to it. It's never hit the heights of his Nightwing, right? I think that's fair to say.
Yep.
But so, you know, if one had to get cut shorter than maybe it was supposed to be, I'm glad it was this instead of Nightwing. But I still wish this was going for a longer run. I wish there was more time to develop. But that said, we're getting Taylor Detective Comics, and who knows what else soon. So I can't be mad.
No, not at all. And like again, he kind of wrapped up a lot of the plot threads. So if this was the end, it feels like he said what he said about the Titans, and sure we could have more. But, he's moving on to Detective, and that's okay still.
Yeah, I like the idea of the Titans being a more prominent team, and they felt like a more prominent team in this book. I just hope that the new creative team can keep that feeling going forward. That may be tough because we're going to also have Justice League Unlimited with Mark Waid and whatnot, but I do hope it doesn't just fizzle into some sort of C-tier book like, arguably the Titans book was at the start of Rebirth, where it wasn't, it was it was interesting just because it was the one where Wally was back with his friends, but other than that, it was pretty,
And that tends to happen with Titans books more often than not, that it's, relegated to the back burner.
Which, Wally's not in this book, funnily enough, actually.
I just noticed when you said his name, I looked at that final panel, I was like, Oh no, they're not there.
No, I
He's not
think
there.
I think it's because I'm pretty sure they said in the last couple of issues, or because of what's going on in the Flash, he's not
Yeah.
here. I think they did explain it in like a previous issue.
He's stuck in a garden still,
Stuck in a garden.
as far as I know.
Oh dear. I guess he get out of that in time for Absolute Power because he's in that. So
Must have.
yeah.
I will say, Lucas Meyer art, I'll never ever be
Oh, it's
upset
great.
with.
Yeah.
With Kaiju Raven versus Trigon, and just there's a page where Trigon is saying how he's gonna burn the world, right? It's at the bottom of, let's see, it's the page after she shows up in the white costume, but he says, in exchange for Earth, and the Titans, he's gonna to end it all. And he just looks so sinister. The inks are super heavy there, and there's like fire coming up around him. And then that panel kind of wraps around the rest of them, so it's almost like Trigon's taking over everything there.
Yeah.
Really, really good stuff.
Yeah. So and because all the Titans go into the different colored gems, that's what really made me think of Power Rangers.
I had the same thing because I was going to call this the Power Ranger Titan issue.
Yeah.
And then you beat me to it. But yeah, it's the Raven Megazord.
Yep, that's absolutely what it is. Now the art's gorgeous. Meyer's been great in any issues he's done of this book. It's always, like you say, super confident lines, heavy inks. It's got that, like, the coloring as well is always very bright and vivid. It's never, not that there's anything wrong with having a more sort of watercolor or washed out look if that's what you're going for tone wise, but this has always felt very vivid. And I think going with that Power Rangers idea where all the different colors of all the different Titans outfits have always popped, and they always pop together as a nice mix of colors. And I think they've always wanted to have that. So
Yeah.
really good.
Does Raven still have the gem on her forehead? Because it broke, right, to free her. And then every other picture, or every other...
She has her hood on. Yeah, you can't see.
She has her hood on. And I got to know.
In theory, it shouldn't be there. And if it is, then it would just purely be for decoration.
Right. It's just part of her costume at this point. But yeah, I went to go check again, and I was like, every time you see her now, it's covered up by the middle part. Like she's in the Misfits or something.
I hope the next issue like shows her forehead, and they maintain this by not having it, and just sort of respect the continuity that's just wrapped up.
And also after she comes back, right, her hair is sticking out of the cloak more. It's almost like she's figuratively put her hair down, and she doesn't have to worry about this stuff too. So
yeah, she's less in shadow. It looks like she's more open to being like like known by whoever's looking at her. Yeah, more confident.
Yeah, so very, very good stuff. And yes, I'm gonna miss Taylor, but he's taking over tech. So, and do we know where Meyer's going? Have we seen anything?
Not that I recall. It's entirely possible
either.
he was in the solicits for something, but I don't remember his name popping up. Yeah, I hope they keep that new style for Raven as well, with the hair sticking out more and like just her face being more on display. It would be a nice change given the ramifications of this. All right, Matt, what are you rating Titans?
I'm gonna give this an 8.5.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with the 8.
Okay.
Which means I've given 3 out of 10 so far, which is annoying. But I think I'm gonna go with the 8 just because it gets maybe a little too cute, and that's pretty much it, right? It's maybe just a little bit too cute for me in the middle, but I like what it does with a lot of the characters. The art's fantastic, and it's a nice, neat ending to tie up everything that Taylor's been doing on the book.